Speech, the act of expressing or describing thoughts, feelings, or perceptions by articulation of words. Speech, a talk or public address. Mr. Bradbury gave a speech. Speech, a person's manner of speaking. The school council president's mumbling speech. These are definitions of speech as seen on the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language. Speech is human vocal communication utilizing language. Each language uses phonetic combinations of vowel and consonant sounds that form the sounding words. Air in Indonesian is pronounced differently from air in English. They have different meanings and pronunciations despite sharing the same spelling. Speech is made by sounds vibrating the vocal cords. The jaw, tongue, teeth, palate, lips, and nose shape sounds that pass through the voice box. To make speech, a person has to choose speech sounds, arrange them in a sequence, produce sound in the voice box, and use the tongue, teeth, palate, lips, and nose to shape the sound. There may be difficulties during this four-stage process, that of which we will get into as we progress. Speech effectiveness is rated by the quality of the following elements: fluency, the ability to communicate an intended message; flexibility, the ability to adjust verbal output in response to the listener; accuracy, the use of proper grammar in spoken language; and comprehensibility, the ability to be understood by others, which consists of three components: pronunciation, the ability to say the sound of words correctly; intonation, proper application of stress and rhythm while speaking; and enunciation, the ability to speak clearly at an appropriate pace and volume.
Everything that has been mentioned so far are actions that can be performed by a normal functioning person, but there are people who do not necessarily fit into this category. One of these people are suffering of aphasia. One of these people is TC. TC is a 18 years old male student who, after falling on his head as the result of being pranked by his friend at high school, noticed that he has been having a hard time recalling words, and that he would often say one thing when he means something else. Diagnosis reveals that he has aphasia, a meaning not, and phasia from Greek phasis, meaning speech, and together they become aphatos, meaning speechless. Aphasia is a condition which implies one's ability to understand or produce speech visually and or vocally.
Aphasia is always caused by injury to the brain, most commonly from a stroke, particularly from older individuals. Other causes of aphasia include traumatic head injury, brain tumors, or infections, which may result in progressive permanent damage. The severity of aphasia depends on a number of conditions, including the cause and extent of the brain damage. In the case of TC, he has a hard time recalling words vocally. He would have a hard time getting words out of his mouth, and even then, he would say things that don't match his intended message. His writing abilities remain relatively intact, albeit with spelling errors. He initially didn't think much of it since his online classes have a chat function and that he has mentioned his disability during admission to his university. I just have to double check my writing, he thought. Now here is the example of TC disaster which I mentioned in this class. A month prior to his first day in college, his parents arranged for him a consultation with an online speech therapist. He had been making steady progress to restore his vocal capability, and there hasn't been any sign of trouble since.
It's orientation week now. He and his friend assigned to make a daily vlog that recaps everything that his university had presented for the next 5 days. He didn't think much of it. He simply worked down everything he remembered and showed it to the camera. A week has passed and he finally attended his first class. When called out by his lecturer to introduce himself, He does so through the built-in chat system. So he elaborated on his disability and how it affected his life. His lecturer believed it, and so did some of his classmates. At the end of his second day, he wondered how he will attend this thesis defense, as his need to write down his answer might make him appear to be cheating. He texted his lecturer about this, to which they said that they will make sure to inform other lecturers about this condition. Feeling relieved, he then continued on with his classes, and so far he hasn't encountered any issues. The best thing he could hope for now is to make a recovery, and it appears that he is on the right path to achieve exactly that.